Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Mark again here, Weatherman Plus. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on with these storms as we go through for today, for tomorrow, and as it goes into Saturday. That way we get a little bit better timing of what the models are hinting could happen as the storm comes across. If you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. I am all year long. Make sure you click the bell to get all the updates. I will come right back to this, everyone. I just want to show you some information real quick so you know what you're looking at as we go through this. Please help share this information if you think it could be helpful to another person. That way they can find the accurate information of timing and what could possibly happen on these storms. Thank you again. I do appreciate every single one of y'all. We will come back to this. First, let me show you something. Now, first, you can see you have all these storms brewing up as you go all day long, as you go into the evening stretches, even further, all the way into the early morning hours, all the way towards Illinois. Now, when you look with your cape, with your lift, you can see you don't have lift during all that time that's going to the north. So these storms that's brewing past eastern Kansas, going past southern Missouri, pretty much is going to be a nuisance and maybe some flooding. If we get a strong surface low that forms up as we go into Friday, as we go to Friday afternoon, there's going to be issues down here. But if we get that surface low start forming up into Friday, it could bring more impacts as this goes towards Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. Now you can see with your lift that you do get a quick flurry of lift that comes up, and that would be getting pulled up by a potential upper level low, a surface low strengthening up. So maybe this could change a little bit as we go into tomorrow afternoon. I will update this every single day because there's going to be new information, but you do see all your lift stays around this region all day long. This is food for your storms to help them burst up. As you go overnight into the early morning hours, stays around Texas. And this is where you do have some chances for some tornadoes, nocturnals. And then for tomorrow, it stays southern. It stays all around the deep south. But once again, you get that flurry of some lift all the way towards the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley. That could bring some more thunderstorms this direction. But really severe is going to be in the south as you go through Friday. Now you can see with your storms, you're still going to have storms that's going to be brewing through that section the whole time. You see how it loses a lot of the severity in it, and all it is south. This is going to be a lot of nuisance. It's going to be some damaging winds isolated in nature, and maybe strengthen up a little bit more for tomorrow as we get that surface low. So it could bring a little bit of a severe weather chance up there just for a moment. So you can see that the lift does go all the way into southern Kansas, a little bit of southwestern Missouri, a little bit of western Arkansas. So all these storms that's going past that will not be tornadic in nature, but it still could bring some damage and winds with that. So they are going to come off pretty potent storms and then weaken down as it goes further to the east and north. Now, real quick, when you look at significant tornado perimeters, you can see you start getting some good factors of some good atmosphere start popping up for southern Kansas, also through Texas as you start from 5 p.m. Now, this is right where those cells starts popping out, all singular, all by themselves, all through the afternoon. Look how they fire up through Texas, through Kansas, going through Oklahoma as well. This is right where you have your best chances for your tornadoes as far as your atmosphere goes. Then when you go past 8 o'clock, look how it stays and builds for Texas. So you got all these cells that starts popping up. After you go to dinner time, and once you go to midnight and on, you're going to have these little singular cells that starts popping up overnight that could spark up a tornado. Just be aware that the atmosphere is still great. It can still spark up a tornado. Now, when you go for tomorrow, look how much severe it gets for tomorrow. It really climbs. So as these cells starts coming through Louisiana, coming through southern Mississippi, there's a good chance for those to start becoming tornadic with the atmosphere, with the dew points, with the wind shear. Everything starts strengthening up. You can see this a little better here. Once you start getting these isolated cells starts pushing through, once they come through off that Gulf, it will be intense, and it could spark up a storm real quick. It could spark up a chance for a tornado. That's your best chance to get your tornadoes. That's where all your lift is going to be. That's where all your dew points are going to be, and that's where all your serious storms are going to get, where you can get your best chances for a tornado. Now, that's going by for tomorrow night, overnight again, for Saturday. Like it starts dissipating as it goes past 11, 12 o'clock. So as these storms brew up for tomorrow, remember, this is going to be some chances for tornadoes again as you're getting all this chances and favorable environment for your significant tornado perimeters. So you definitely got to watch these cells as they come by for tomorrow afternoon for southern Louisiana and for southern Mississippi. Northern is going to be a flooding threat, so don't be surprised if you get tornado warnings and flooding warnings at the same time. But I want to keep it as accurate as possible, so I will update this again in the morning. Now you see your dew points, they do flurry off into southern Kansas, goes into Missouri as well. This will put a lot of particulates in the atmosphere, start bringing you the chances for these thunderstorms. And then when the winds come in and the lift comes in, it really starts concealing down towards southern Texas, southern Louisiana. You get some 60s through northern Texas as well. And as you go through tomorrow morning, that transitions with those dew points right across the southern side of the deep south. So picking it up with the Euro's a little bit further to the north, but you see it does carry across also for Saturday. And it is bringing your lift. It is bringing also your chances for storms to fire right back up as we go through Saturday evening. So I think the models will agree with that. It'll start showing more of a chance. Matter of fact, it has increased on our severe weather. Let me show you real quick for Saturday. You can't see too far with HRRR, but we can see that this lift is starting to come across for Saturday. So you can see you still got your lift. You still got your strong dew points that's starting to carry across as you go through Saturday morning. And then you got your storms that's starting to brew up towards the Carolinas, towards Georgia, going through Alabama. Then it brews up some more. When you look at NATOcast, your chances for your tornadoes a little bit better, and a little bit for southern Kansas, and a little bit for western Arkansas. I wanted to show you this before we go and look at the tornado threat according to National Weather Service. So let's look a little bit deeper what's going on with these storms. Let's start with for today. So we have our marginal, we have our slight risk, but let's check our chances for tornadoes. We have our two little areas that could bring chances of tornadoes. So just be aware of this. So as we go through the afternoon, remember this is Central Time, same as y'all. You do get some cells that do spark up a little east of Abilene as that goes towards DFW. And then you got them sparking up again over here a little west of Oklahoma City. Now look, that goes all the way till 10, 11 o'clock. You even get hail cores in some of those cells. Be careful even as you go a little southern and east of Dallas. But that goes overnight into the early morning hours. That's your chances for your tornadoes. But look, you still got chances overnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, a little southern of Brady. Even chances for hail in that. But that's when you got your best chances for tornadoes as well to come out of those cells overnight. And it does go by the western Dallas, and it goes through Waco for tomorrow morning. So just be aware of that. Then it's going to come across strong as we go through for Friday. These storms going across from northeastern Texas all the way from Tyler towards Shreveport as you go through overnight until tomorrow morning, bringing somewhat a damage and wind event with that, as well as that's pushing through all the way to Monroe, all the way towards Greenville. All these storms right here are going to be very strong with some chances for damage and winds. Once you go into Friday morning, here it comes. Those cells start racing across. And you see the hail cores in them as well. This is where you got to watch out also for chances for tornadoes as this speeds across. Then you got those cells that brew up for tomorrow afternoon. These are the cells that's coming across for southern Louisiana that you're going to watch out for. They're going to start strengthening up, and that's going to be your best chances to get some strong cells that's coming through, mostly going into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, bring you chances for these tornadoes. Look at this going into northern Louisiana as well. Get some hail cores as you go through tomorrow evening as all that keeps pushing to the east. Then once you go to tomorrow night, here they come again across southern Mississippi, across southern Alabama, moving further to the east. Now this is just what the model is hinting at, what it could look like. These cells coming off the Gulf could easily be stronger. So you do need to pay attention to that. There is going to be live streamers all night long for this. There always is. Pay attention to their streams. They will keep you safe. Look at these hail cores. A lot of chances for hail. Even that one right there. Right around 9 p.m. for tomorrow. Hinting at some chances for some large hail to come across your area. Just be aware of that. It's going to be some nasty little cells. And all y'all going to be in a flooding threat as well. And you can see as that pushes off, also goes for Saturday. So as we look for our day 3, we got our 15% for severe weather, and this is grown a little bit more. Remember I told you it was going to go into the Carolinas. It finally did. Showing these storms are coming all the way from 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, start coming into southern Alabama, going into Georgia, and going to upstate South Carolina by tomorrow night. Then it's going to start growing more and go more coastal, like towards Myrtle Beach, Going to North Carolina, this looks a lot weaker up here. But these look pretty strong. Even some strong cells going in towards Atlanta as you go through for Saturday morning. So I will keep you updated on that. We can't see quite that far just yet. But at the same time, there's going to be other storms that's going to be brewing through. So as you go through this evening, you can see you got some storms that's going to be brewing through Missouri. It's going to go through Kansas. That's severe weather. Then it goes through Illinois. It'll go through Indiana, southern Wisconsin as you go through tomorrow morning. Getting some chances for some snow on that wraparound, going through a little bit of western Des Moines. Then as that goes in for tomorrow afternoon, look at these storms brewing up all across southern Wisconsin, going into northern Michigan. And you got these other cells that's popping across Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, Ohio. These are going to be isolated in nature. This is going to move around some. But I do expect Saturday to burst up into some more storms. This always showed the strongest of the winds. And let's not forget, as we go Friday evening into Saturday morning, this is where the storms are going to start moving through Washington, Oregon, and Northern California from that storm system that's in Northern Pacific. This is a tail whip of it. I will keep you updated. It's still a couple of days away. Showing so far as you go all the way until tomorrow morning, you do have chances for 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts for Oklahoma. Also from Mexico, New Mexico, and the southern side and western Texas. That as you go through for Friday, those storms are going to bring those damaging winds on the northern half. So far showing 40 into the 50 miles per hour wind gusts. Definitely higher elevations of North Carolina as well. Now you can also see when you look at your lower level winds that you don't get a lot of winds aloft, but once it starts kicking into later tonight, it starts getting a little elongated where you have multiple areas where you're starting to get some strengthening on the winds. This will help create some lift. This will help create some rotation in the atmosphere. And you see it does carry towards Illinois a little bit with the winds on the eastern side, while you're getting that lift overnight for Friday morning. So it could bring a little bit of changes on the severe weather. That could bring some chances for hail with that. But look for Friday. Watch how these winds start sparking up on the eastern side of this system that's sitting right here. Really gives you chances to get a lot of strong winds aloft, a lot of strong winds rotating. So you got the winds coming from the Gulf going to the north, and you got these winds going from west to east, real strong, giving you different changes in height. And as you go and look through Saturday for what you can see so far, you see the winds will be there as well. So I will keep you updated first thing in the morning for Saturday as well. Showing so far, your biggest threat for hail is going to be through central Kansas. You're going to get some through Oklahoma, stronger through southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas. That region shows chances for large hail, also for central Texas. Look right here. It looks better for northern Louisiana, going through Arkansas, northern Mississippi, maybe some coming through Louisiana as well, and western Alabama. Looks like it's weakening off. So your biggest chance for hail is in this region right here. Now, so far for Saturday, here's your cities and states at risk for severe weather. And you see it has stretched at 15% all the way into North Carolina. So just be aware of that. I will keep you updated in the morning. Still showing scattered severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and damaging winds appear possible Saturday across parts of the southeast into the Carolinas. One thing I'd like to note for Friday when we have that tornado threat going across the south, you can see right here with CSU that's showing it could ramp up even more for southern Mississippi. Also seeing that by SIPs a little bit. So let's keep aware of that. It could ramp up a little more for southern Mississippi. And still showing for Saturday, southern Georgia is still a hot spot for more increase. Now remember, after the storm goes by on Saturday, then we're going to go by the northeast, bring you some chances for snow. A lot of y'all are going to be getting rain. Then we got our next setup that's coming in for next week. Could be multiple storms. It could be one southern and it could be one northern. So we do need to watch that. It is growing into a double threat right there, potentially. Still too far to know for sure, because you can see with GFS still showing multiple different outcomes on that pattern next week. But what I am showing is we are going to get a lot of this flooding. Now I'm showing you GFS because National Weather Service is going by GFS as well. And you see as you go into Friday morning, you start getting a lot of that heavy rainfall started adding up. This is where it starts adding up to 1 or more inches per hour as that comes across for Friday evening, goes into Saturday. This training in the same area over and over. Matter of fact, it has increased to a moderate level for flooding as you go through Saturday afternoon, and then as you go through Saturday into Sunday, bringing more all the way down Florida, from northern Florida straight down to southern Florida, bringing you chances for that rain. And then we got all that rain and all them storms that's going to be building up for next week as we get a cold front coming through. So we'll keep you updated. But even when you try and look at the update with the Euro, the 6Z only goes for the next 4 days. You can see the rainfall coming by the west coast, but you see how it has for this rainfall. Now, when you go by National Weather Service, look at this. It's showing that pocket of heavy rainfall that GFS has been showing that all the way until Sunday morning. A big area for Alabama, northern Georgia, going all the way into Atlanta as well, and South Carolina and some of North Carolina. 2 to 3 inches could come down right there and bring a lot of flooding. Now, when you go by GFS has been showing that run after run that is potentially possible. And then this next storm coming for next week is going to add up as well. And we do get some storms that brew up right here in the Gulf. Could we get that lowered jet stream that I showed you, bringing potentially a storm across? And we'll keep you updated. It's still days away. I'm just trying to show you a pattern that's coming. But you can see the outcome. Now it is grown. So you're flooding for today. You got a marginal going all the way up to southern Iowa, some of western Illinois, all the way to southeastern Nebraska. But you got your slight risk for flash flooding for today. And this is grown even worse. For tomorrow, it's going to move over towards Indiana some. But look, now we got our moderate level risk. And this could go up just a little bit more potentially because these storms are going to be training for days. So now you got a slight level risk of flash flooding for Friday. And you got the moderate level, the heavy flooding. These are those storms that's going to come across and potentially bring you problems for Saturday also. And it's still moving over as we go through for Saturday. So look for Saturday. You still bringing that marginal up to the northeast as well. But now you got that slight risk. So it's going to go all the way towards northern Georgia into upstate South Carolina. And then for Saturday, it's going to go from South Carolina towards the coast into North Carolina as well, bringing chances for the flash flooding. Plus, you got the marginal for the northern side that's going up through the northeast, bringing chances for your flash flooding. This is for Saturday. And you're also going to start growing it for the west coast as you go through Sunday for the next storm system that's coming in. Monday also. And still showing we got that strong system coming through from the 15th of March and for the end of March. And you can see after we deal with that system, you can see this with the Euro, with your vorticity, it starts building up. But it looks like we could have another issue because as we're getting that cold blast coming through, it could break this off. Look, it's almost a cutoff low over here. If this is a cutoff low, it's just going to sit there and spin and bring precipitation straight from the Pacific, pull it straight off the Gulf, and throw that right into the south while you're getting a cold front coming through, bringing all the blasts of snow and cold temperatures. That's the last we can see of the Euro. So we'll try to look a little bit further, see what happens if that does become a cutoff low. You can see with the GFS showing the same thing. Now you're going towards 9 and 10 days as that pushes through. Still sitting there, bringing these storms to the south over and over, then finally gets pulled out by the next one. So it could sit there for a few days and become an issue. I will keep you updated as past 3-4 days, so anything can still change. Thank you again for your time, everybody. I hope this has helped you. If it has, please consider leaving a like, subscribe if you like the content so you get more updates. I do appreciate every single one of y'all. There is a lot of helpful information that's going to be going out today. There's also going to be a lot of hype. So if this is helpful, please share this to other people. Let them know what is going on so far with this transition. Thank you so much for your help. Now, before you go today, Ecclesiastes 10:14 through 17. Never follow a fool. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when the king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. Amen. Have a great day, everybody. I wish the best for every single one of you. Remember, all glory always goes to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh, and hope he always keeps you safe, you and your family, and forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. God bless you all and keep you all safe. I pray for you. Have a great day.